and welcome to episode 15 of the Crochet Luna Podcast. My name is Claudia and I'm coming to you from the San Diego area in Southern California, where I have been recovering from round 2 of whatever disease is going around. I don't know if it's a cold or if it's a flu. I've just been equally as miserable both times that I've gotten sick in the past month. So excuse the hoarse voice, but I really felt like I wanted to get this out to you guys. I have a lot of information to share and lots of notes, so get comfortable, get your coffee, your tea, whatever you want to drink, get your crochet, your knitting, whatever you want to work on while I talk about what's been going on these days. The title of this episode is The Future is Crafty. And let me tell you, I want to make all the things in all the crafts. So that sort of kicked off this past December when I took a knitting class at Sin City Knits in Las Vegas. I contacted them and told them I was going to be there for a specific weekend and I wanted to book a private knitting class with one of their instructors, and I was lucky enough to spend Sunday afternoon with the lovely Barbara Tolson over at Sin City Knits, who is an incredible crocheter, incredible knitter. I believe she does quilting. She does so many things so beautifully, and she was patient and basically taught me how to. I told her I wanted to knit a hat because I figured it was a small project. It was a small project that I felt that I could finish, and she was lovely enough to walk me through the whole process. So we picked out yarn, knitting needles, and she suggested a pattern that I went ahead and used. And yeah, I knitted my first hat, but I'll show you guys that. I'll show you guys that and talk more about it when I talk about my FOs. To start off, I wanted to tell you about, I know a lot of podcasters are talking about their goals for 2018 and the things that they want to accomplish. I have things that I want to accomplish, but really I'm breaking down the year into 4 quarters, the 4 quarters of the year, and I'm setting quarterly goals because I function better if I have small goals in specific periods of time. And so my first quarter goals for 2018 are to clean up my online life, clean up my physical life by organizing and just making things more efficient around the house. And also getting more organized overall. I feel like the word for me this year, I know a lot of people like to pick words. For me, it's going to be organized because um, I feel like once I get things to a certain point where they're more organized, I'm much more productive and my anxiety levels go down. So I managed to organize my craft corner. As you can see, I have a different background. I was able to destash and donate some yarn, lots of yarn actually. And also, I'm going to be organizing my patterns that are just like in a box. I just have all these patterns that I want to put in a filing cabinet and organize. And so, for me, this year is all about organizing and being more productive. And one of the things that I did find from a podcaster, Be Hooked, I believe it's Be Hooked Crochet, or maybe just Be Hooked. I'll put the link in my show notes, and she was talking to someone about organizing, and they use an online software called Trello.com. I don't know if you guys have heard of Trello. They have a free version, which is what I'm using, and a paid version, which is $5 a month or $45 as an annual fee. I'm just using the free version just to see how it works out. So far, I really like it. I like how you're able to organize projects and tasks within that project. So check it out. It might be something that you want to do. Next up, I'm getting rid of all my social media things that I'm not using. I have a Twitter account that I do not use. Really, I'm not someone to use Twitter at all. And I know that you can post to one social media and have it automatically post to Twitter. I know all about that, but I'm just really not interested in Twitter at this point. So I will be getting rid of it. If I, at any point I want to restart a Twitter account, it's very easy to do so. So I'm going to get rid of Twitter. And also, I started an LO account, which I have done zero on. So I'm just, right now, Instagram is what I'm working with. It's what I'm on all the time. Even my Facebook, my Crochet Luna Facebook page has really fallen to the wayside. I've got to rethink about what I want to do with that. I am not on Facebook that much anymore. Um, so I've got to rethink about what I'm going to do with that. But like I said, I'm cleaning up old contacts from my Gmail account. I mean, if I haven't talked to someone in 7 years, I don't even think the email address that I have for them is current. I really want to make my social media and make my contacts current and updated. I used to be a bookkeeper and a tax preparer, so I have on my contacts clients from many, many, many years ago, which I don't deal with anymore. So I will be clearing all that stuff out and just being more current about the contacts that I have. Same thing goes with Facebook. I have a lot of contacts or friends on Facebook that I have zero dealings with, and as lovely as it is to see pictures of kids and family, if I'm not connected to that person, I feel like there's no reason for me to. It's not to be mean, but it's like I'm not. I'm not really enjoying seeing the pictures because I don't really have a connection to the person anymore. So I'm cleaning up that Facebook part of my life as well. So those are my goals. My goals for the first quarter are to organize and clean up the social media and the contacts that I have. Moving on, I want to talk to you guys about some cows. I am so excited about cows. I think that cows are a great way to connect with other crocheters. And so I really, really enjoy seeing all the different cows that pop up because then you can choose the ones that you want to participate in, and hopefully you can, not only participate in one, but that one project can count towards a couple other cows that you can enter. And then you can pop in and see what lovely things people are making. So for my first make of 2018 is also my first entry into the One Skein Wonderland Cow, which I know you guys have heard about. It's being run and hosted by Faye of the Crochet Circle Project and Charlie of the Love Charlie Crochet Podcast. The Ravelry thread is on the Crochet Circle Project's Ravelry page, so pop on over and see all the wonderful things people are making. I really connected with this cow because I am one of those people that really love. I'll see a skein of yarn, I'm like, oh, I love it. And then I look at, as I was organizing my yarn, I realized I have a lot of just one skeins are really beautiful, but really the projects that I tend to crochet require more than one. So this was a great way to focus in on that one skein that you have and that I had that I really wanted to make a project from. And what I chose was the Post Stitch Cow. This is a free pattern from Petals to Picot. And I tell you, I loved crocheting this project. I love the texture that you get. I did contact the designer because I found that I thought I wasn't understanding the way that you started the project, but there was a typo in the pattern where she tells you to start with chain 72, but then the stitch count, I'm sorry, it says chain 76, but the stitch count is actually 72 if you're crocheting in the round. That stitch count, unless you're going to decrease, is not going to change. Well, the project doesn't decrease at any point. So I did contact her, and she did say that It was a typo that has been corrected on the pattern. So you chain 72, and that's the stitch count that you keep. And what you end up with is this just lovely, lovely textured cowl. As you can see, it's got nice stretch. It's a beautiful size. For me, it's perfect because I like my cowls snug around the neck. I know some people don't. I do. I really like the way it fits around my neck. I really love, like I said, I love the texture that you get by doing front post stitching. The repeat is incredibly easy to remember. And the yarn that I used was this lovely, lovely hand-dyed yarn by Tara of Mitchell's Creations. Here's her card. And she gifted me this yarn last year, and I just couldn't wait to work the yarn. And so this pattern, you guys, it's perfect. I love it. So this is my entry into the One Skein Wonderland Cow. The next cow that I'm participating in is one that is being hosted by Olan magazine, and it's using one of Faye's designs, Faye from the Crochet Circle project, and it's the crisscross shawl. I'm sure you've seen it. This is actually a free pattern if you go to the magazine, and I will put a link for all that information so that you can access the pattern. Now, I usually refer to Faye as the Crochet Circle project, but if you know Faye, you know that she also is Knit It, Hook It, Craft It, which is her online store, and then she's also Faye-for-Hue Designs. So any which way you get to Faye, you're going to find something really good. I am using a yarn that I picked up at the San Diego Crawl this past September, I think September. It's from Oink Pigments. It's their Oink sock in the color Le Pink. And here it is. Look at that, beautiful. It's a little blown out on the screen. Here is another one that's skeined up. So I haven't done a lot on it. I'm just finishing up the first part of the lattice section. But you can see how beautiful this yarn is going to work up. It's got these deep reds with the pinks. I'm also using a little stitch marker that was gifted to me by Charlie of the Love Charlie podcast. And that is one of my whips and one of the cows that I am participating in. There's also another cow that's coming up starting on January 15th, and that is being hosted by Keep Calm and Carry Yarn, the ladies over there, Allison and Vivian. And if you haven't had a chance to listen to their podcast on YouTube, you should. It's great. They are focusing on the color of the year, which is ultraviolet. That's the Pantone color of the year, ultraviolet. So basically your project has to incorporate that color. But they're leaving it open to knitting and crocheting. It's going to run through March 1st, so January 15th through March 1st. I haven't picked out my patterns or my yarn, but I will be participating in that. The next cow I want to talk to you about is one that I am going to run. And it's going to be an annual cow that's going to start from whenever this episode uploads until November 1st. And I'll tell you why I got the idea. This past Christmas season was a little stressful, I won't lie. And we got our Christmas tree the week before Christmas. We usually get our tree the weekend of Thanksgiving. It's just how we've always done it. And we get a live tree. And so we went and picked out the tree and brought it home. We set it up. I went to hang ornaments on it, and I couldn't hang like 80% of my ornaments because they were too heavy for these little tiny thin branches that the tree had. The ornaments that hung on the tree were mostly the ones that my kids had made in school, the little paper ornaments or little picture ornaments or just very lightweight ornaments. And so I decided I'm done with these heavy ornaments. I hate packing them up every year. They're fragile, they're glass, they're ceramic. And so I thought this year for Christmas 2018, I'm just going to put on my Christmas tree handmade ornaments. So I thought I'll crochet throughout the year ornaments from different patterns because I found so many great Christmas patterns on Ravelry. And so I thought I'll make ornaments and then I will just hang those ornaments on my Christmas tree. And it won't matter if the branches are too small or too thin or whatever. So I've been going on Instagram and doing Instagram live stories. Well, I've been going on Instagram live and chatting with people, and which I really, really enjoy. And I put that idea out there, and Angelica from Stitch Con Amor actually suggested that we do a swap. She doesn't crochet and she doesn't knit. She sews. I don't know if you remember the little cassette tape project bag that I bought as a gift for one of my cousins that she made. And she said, I don't do that, but I'm sure she could hand me a beautiful ornament out of fabric. So she suggested a swap, and I thought that was a great idea. So I'm putting the cutoff as November 1st, so then I can match people, whoever wants to participate, so that we can exchange at least one of the ornaments that we've made throughout the year, and then we'll have a nice little handmade ornament on our tree. So that is going to be an annual cow run between now and November 1st. I'll match people up, whoever wants to participate. If you don't want to do the swap, that's fine. You can still, participate and crochet up some nice ornaments. And I'll tell you what else I did. I was so thrilled to receive the Christmas cards that I did in the swap that I did this year. And actually, every year I keep all the Christmas cards that I ever get. And I have a ton of them. And I went on, I think it was Pinterest, and I went looking for what to do with old Christmas cards. Found one idea that I really liked, and I implemented with some of the cards that I received this past season. And one of them actually is, I took it down. I'm taking it down. I took it down to show you, but I'm putting it back up because I really love the way it turned out. So someone sent me, I believe it was Miria, sent me a card with a little cat with some yarn balls. Well, what I did is I cut the little cat out and I put him on some foam backing. No, not foam, it's felt. It's this felt stuff. Just glued it on there. And then I made some little holes to attach yarn. And then I just crocheted, I don't know if you can see it. I just crocheted some little shells around it. So that's all I did. And now this little kitty hangs in my crochet corner. You can see I put a little loop on there. He hangs in my little crochet corner, and I really love it. And I love that I get to keep this card that was sent to me, and that it's going to now be part of my little crochet corner. And then come Christmas, I can hang it up on my Christmas tree. So I have done the same thing for a couple of other cards that still have to do the crocheting part. But here's the little gingerbread house I received. And then there's a snowman that I received as well that I want to turn into an ornament. So I thought that was just another way of not only keeping these beautiful cards, but also having variety in the ornaments that I hang on the Christmas tree. I also found a pattern, and I'll share that with you, for a crochet ornament that was pretty popular, that was going around, and it's the Love Bomb. The Love Bomb ornament by Queen Babs. You can see how pretty that is. Now this is a paid pattern, but it's beautifully written. I had no issues crocheting it. And I did my first one, which is this one here. I just grabbed some scraps that I had to try out the pattern, and what I did is I just put a little button in the middle of it. So I'm going to crochet more of these because I really like them. And I also found a pattern for, I was seeing a lot of little knitted sweaters that people were hanging on their trees, and I thought, how cute, little knitted sweaters. So I found this free pattern for little crocheted sweaters. And I will put the links as always on my show notes. But I'll be crocheting some little sweaters. I also found this paint pattern by Ginger Peachy, which is traditional Scandinavian ornaments. This is a paint pattern as well, but you can see you get the pattern for all 4 ornaments that could be easily customized a million ways. So that is going to be the hashtag is going to be hashtag Box of Ornaments 2018. I'll put it down here so you can see it. If you want to participate, you can jump on board anytime during the year. I will have a thread open on Ravelry that will where you can post patterns, you can post ornaments that you've finished, and it's just going to be a chatter thread. So finished objects and chatter will go on that thread. I'm also kicking around the idea of picking maybe quarterly winners from that thread that I can gift the pattern to. So we'll see. There'll be prizes along the way. You know me, I love giving stuff away. So I will have prizes for this cow, and then we'll do a swap at the end of November. So that is the annual cow that I'm hosting. I also have you guys, I'm probably going to lose my voice. I mean, it is so bad. This is so ridiculous. Ugh. All right. I got it. I could do this. The next cow I am really excited about. As I cough a lung out. The next cow is another idea that I had that I put on, that I talked to some people on Instagram when I went live last week, and it is going to be the fortune cookie cow. Now, when I was in art school, I took, I'm sure it was an illustration class of some kind. We were given an assignment where we were passed out a fortune cookie, and you crack the cookie open, and whatever the fortune was, that was your going to be your prompt or your inspiration to illustrate something based on that fortune. That's one of my favorite projects that I did in art school. I really liked that project. So I thought, I'm going to bring that idea that's not original to me to the podcast or the vlogcast. And it's going to be basically the same thing. I will crack open, I think I will do 3. I'll crack open 3 fortune cookies on the next podcast, share those fortunes with you. You can pick one of those fortunes and use that as your inspiration to crochet. Knitting is welcome. Crochet or knit anything you want as long as you can tie in the fortune cookie fortune to your project. So as long as you can convince me, sell me on how that those two go together, then you're good. So if you don't have access to a fortune cookie, you can use those fortunes that I'm going to read. If you do have access to fortune cookies, then by all means, go enjoy a nice dinner, save that fortune cookie. Do not open it until the next podcast, which will be uploaded on February 26th, I believe. I will put in the date of when you can open up that fortune cookie. So you can crack open your fortune cookie and you can use it as your inspiration for the project. The cow will start on February 16th. It does coincide with Chinese New Year. So let's get lucky. We'll have a lucky start of our cow. And I actually have already purchased a little fortune cookie project keeper that I'll be using. And I'm also going to be making a couple bags for my project. I might have more than one, that's why. But I found this gorgeous fabric that has takeout and fortune cookies, of course, that I'll be turning into a bag. And this one I found on Etsy. The Etsy seller is Marianne of Maui. She is an Etsy seller. I'll put that information here as well. And then I found two fabrics at Joann's Fabrics that I really liked. One was this beautiful crane fabric. And then I also found this one, which is got butterflies and um, fans and some other beautiful Chinese inspired symbols or graphics, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to be working on some project bags because I really, this year, I really want to hone in on a style of project bag that I like. And I'll tell you, I picked up two patterns at Joann's for making project bags. This one is Simplicity, and it's 1153 is the pattern. And then you can make all of these bags from this pattern, which I think is great. And I found one that was a little bit more simple, which is from See and Sew. And it is this these two bags. You can make these two style bags. So we'll see. I mean, like I said, this year I'm gonna make. I'm not only gonna crochet a bunch. I want to sew a bunch, and knit some, and a couple of other things that are coming down the pipeline. So that. Oh, and the bling fortune cookie came from Kitschy Creatives on Etsy, and I will put, as always, I'll put the links to the stores in my show notes in case you want to check them out. So that is the annual cow and the fortune cookie cow that I will be hosting for this first quarter of the year. Don't know yet for summer and for fall, for the second, third, and fourth quarters, but we'll get something going. And let me tell you, there will be no shortage of cows this year because everybody has great ideas, has great cows that they want you to participate in. So there's plenty out there. I believe Faye has a thread on her um, Ravelry page that tells you different cows that are upcoming. So always you can pop over there and see and then get the information that you need to participate in a cow. If you want to, it's not, it's all for fun. Let's talk FOs. I have lots of FOs. Didn't even realize how much stuff I had until I started gathering it all up for the vlogcast. I've already shown you the cow. Now, FO number 2 I don't have because it was actually a commission for my daughter's Girl Scout troop leader's neighbor. Yes, she contacted me and she wanted a slouchy beanie for her grandmother. And I found a fantastic pattern that I'm going to make one for myself because I like it so much. It is the Dragonfly Slouchy Beanie by Pattern Paradise. And it is a free and a paid pattern. So it's free if you go to the blog, but it's $2 if you want the PDF. And to me, it's totally worth it to pay the $2 to get a really nice PDF and not have to. I don't do well scrolling and looking at the monitor or my phone. I really like having a paper pattern to cross things off and make notes on. So $2 for this pattern is completely worth it. And I'll put a picture of the finished beanie that I made so that you can see it. But it's lovely. I mean, look at that detail. That little dragonfly detail. Very simple to follow. I had no issues with the pattern. So that is FO number 2. FO number 3 is what I started talking to you about, which is my knitted hat. I can't tell you what an enjoyable experience it was to do something that I have never done. I mean, I've never knitted a hat. To have such a knowledgeable person sitting next to me, and at every time that I got stuck, say, am I doing this right? And she'd be like, yes or no, or it is invaluable to have someone that is knowledgeable helping you on a new endeavor. It's just, I can't say enough good things about Barbara at Sin City Knits. Actually, the hope, it's really, I don't want to say it's sad, but I think I don't I don't even know how to tell you, but I feel more at home at Sin City Knits in Las Vegas than in any of the yarn shops around me. I don't know why. I mean, the people at Sin City Knits have been very, every time I've been there, have been very welcoming, and it's been a very enjoyable experience. The whole atmosphere is so positive. I really enjoy it. And I was there. It was a full house. They were doing a Sunday um, knitting meeting, I guess, and people were knitting on different things, beautiful things, and so I felt right at home. I don't think that it's not fair to say that I don't feel that way in my local yarn shops, but I guess because I prefer to crochet at home, um, and when I go to yarn shops, it's usually knitters there, so I feel more at home. For example, at my crochet guild meetings, because we're all crocheters, we're all talking about the same thing, and like I said, I love to just crochet at home. That maybe I haven't given my local yarn shops a fair shot, so maybe that's something I can work on this year. But anyway, getting back to my knitted hat. This is my knitted hat that I made. It's full of wonky mistakes and everything, but I love it. I actually wore it a little bit during the cold the cold nights in December. But yes, and this pom pom I already had on my pom pom maker that I was gonna use for another project. I never used it, so I went ahead and finished it off, and it's nice and fluffy, and it fits my hat perfectly. This is a pattern. It is a paid pattern by Longhorn Prairie. It's called Quickie Chunky Hat. And it was quick. I mean, I started this hat on Sunday and I was there from 12 to 4. And then I finished it on my way back on our drive from Las Vegas to San Diego. So it was great. And I used Ella Ray Chunky Superwash Merino in this beautiful purple color. There's no color name, it's just color number 36. And I used Knitter's Pride Nova Cubics. These are the needles, and you notice that these are not rounded, they're square. So I had no issues. I learned how to do a, what is it called? A long tail cast on. Was it? Yes. And magic loop, and I learned how to do ribbing and knitting and purling and the whole shebang. I mean, I did it. So that was really positive experience. I really enjoyed that. So FO number 5 is my spun gold shawl. Oh my god, you guys. I love this pattern. I love it, love it, love it, love it. Here it is, spun gold. Look at how ratty my page is now. It's a one skein project. I just used the one sock blank that I had. I've talked about it before. It's from Goosey Fibers. It's called 8 to Texas. It had 3 birds on it. And this is my spun gold. Look at how pretty that is. So many good things about this project. I loved the really long stitches on it. I love how, because of the way the stitches are, it really broke down the color in such a way that you've got these, areas of cream, and then there's color, and right smack in the middle where you would wear it like this, you've got color. So what a wonderful pattern. I loved it. I originally saw this pattern on Chrissy Crafts. She made some for some teachers, but I was watching Faye's podcast today, her Clarity podcast. I didn't even realize she had made one as well. But like I said, I really, and it's big, I really, really like this shawl. Not the shawl that I would wear on a super cold day, but definitely I would wear it in summer, and it will get great use here with our San Diego weather. So this is spun gold by Cat Golden using the Goosey Fiber sock blank. This is what I had left, which was, I wrote it down, 13 grams is what I had left. Okay, you can see how, and I undid it, how curly the yarn is. And it's only challenging really to work with it at the beginning when you're starting the project. But as you go along, I had no issues. And I actually really liked not having to chase a yarn ball around. One, two, um, it just was easy to transport because it just folds. Really, really positive things to say about working off of a sock blank. I really enjoyed it. I have two more sock blanks that I'm gonna work up this year. I may even do another one of these because I really like the way it looks, and maybe that will be a Christmas gift. Because let me tell you, I sorely failed at my Christmas gifts. I was able to crochet up 6 ponchos. One I have to do some changes on, and that's a Christmas gift that I will be giving to someone once I make those adjustments. But really, I didn't really do very well for Christmas crochet gifting. I gotta do better this year. I really do, and that means starting earlier and again, organize those projects, put them in a calendar, and work them so that they'll be done. But that is FO number 5. That's my spun gold. And then now what I have is I have a new, it's not a new segment, it's just a new way of calling these things that are not whips because they haven't been started. So I'm calling this my project, my PQs, my project Q. So these are things that I've already found patterns. I've got the yarn selected for the pattern, and it's just waiting to be crocheted as soon as I get these other things finished. And really, the only whip that I need to finish is my my crisscross shawl. I still have a pair of socks that I need to finish, and my skull jumper. Those are the 3 things that I need to finish before I start any of these things. And number 1 is what I am so excited about. I don't know how many of you guys have seen this, but it's super exciting to me. So Stephen West, who is a knitting designer, came out with a shawl that's called the eyeball shawl. And it's basically, if you open it up, it looks like a giant eyeball. It's really cool. You can go hashtag eyeball shawl on Instagram, and you can get a sampling of what that looks like. Well, we have a crochet designer who has developed the crochet eyeball shawl, and it's called the Hypnotic Eye. This is a pattern by super talented designer who also dyes. He's actually at Vogue Knitting Live this weekend with his yarn. He is Alexander Reynoso, and it's the Hypnotic Eye. So he is a designer out of New York. Excuse me. And this is the shawl. Also, if you look at Quaylen's Instagram portfolio, I'll put the name here because it's a little bit hard to spell. I'll put a link as well. He tested this pattern for Alex. Alex is Alex Creates on Instagram, and I was so excited to see this pattern. I've already picked my yarns, but I have not wound them up. They are living in my Frida Kahlo bag that I found for $1 at a thrift store. Can you believe it? Such a great bag. And I am using a variety of yarns from different dyers. Let's see. So again, I'm using some Oint Pigments yarn, and I'm using some Long Dog yarn, and I'm using some no, this is Oink as well. I guess this is only Oink and Barocco. So I can't even hold it up. So this is like part of it here. And add to that some of this really beautiful blue-gray from Oink Pigments. And this darker one, which is Barocco yarn. So this is going to be my hypnotic eye shawl that I'll be working on, which I'm so excited to be working on. So pretty. Look at the speckles in this yarn. I don't know if I've shown you guys this yarn before. She does beautiful work. I actually met her at a indie yarn market that I went to this summer. But I think this is really beautiful too. So that is going to be my first project on my project queue. Then I have another project on my project queue, which is my first knitted shawl. Eee! I'm excited. I'm excited because I really want to push myself to learn new skills. It's good for my hands. My arthritic hands get really tired from doing the same motion. I found when I was knitting the hat, the motion is different enough that I think that it's going to be good for my hands to be able to learn new skills. And Kristy Glass from Kristy Glass from Kristy Glass Knits is doing this cow on her channel. If you have not checked out Kristy Glass, I highly encourage you to do it. She is predominantly a knitter, but she crochets as well. But what she does is she interviews people in the fiber community, whether they're dyers, designers, even was even a jeweler that she interviewed that I bought some jewelry from because it was so fantastic. I'll have to show you that in another podcast. But yes, so Kristy Glass constantly puts out videos, constantly has these incredible interviews from top designers, from just, it's incredible. I love her channel. So she's hosting this cow, and it's for the Stephen West Doodler. It's this one right here. And I was looking at my stash and seeing what would work, and I ended up picking up these yarns from Candy Skein and Laser Sheep Yarns. So these two are from Candy Skein. Here, I'll show you this one here. Isn't that pretty? Very pretty. Look at that color right there. This is the blue. It's like an electric blue. And then here is the gray from Laser Sheep Yarns. Laser Sheep is awesome. They always put a little tag that kind of goes with the theme of the yarn. It's like a little Batman sheep right there. And I believe she is local to me. I think she's here in Vista. Or maybe she's the one that moved. I don't know. Anyway, this is going to be my doodler. And I'm excited about that. Yeah, I did a roundup of all the podcasters that I watch. It's going to be a great year for podcasts, crochet podcasts. I made a list, and I watch religiously. Whenever an episode comes out, I watch 30 podcasts, 30 crochet podcasts. Of those 30 crochet podcasts, I want to say, only because I have not confirmed, 28 of them also knit. And so I think it's time to embrace the crafts. If you're a knitter and you're watching my podcast, I would hope that you pick up a crochet hook and you crochet something. If you're a crocheter who has never had an interest in knitting, I would hope and encourage you to at least try it once, because it just adds more to your crafting life. And I know we can crochet until the day we die because we have so much yarn and patterns, but I think it's fun to expand the horizon. And I'm not only expanding it with crocheting, with knitting, I'm expanding it with rug hooking, which I want to talk to you guys about, which I'm so excited to try. And embroidery. I've never embroidered a single thing in my life. Not one. But I was able to pick up 2 kits from Face Knit It, Hook It, Crafted online. One I gifted to my daughter for Christmas. One I bought for myself, and I thought, it's something that she and I can share. She seems to be interested in it. I'm so excited that we will be working on these little project bags. This is the one that I got for my daughter. This is the wolf. She loves wolves. And of course, I'm going to get the sugar skull. So my daughter and I will be working on these projects together. So you've got embroidery, then there's something else I want to talk to you guys about. But yeah, I want to expand. I'm a creative person, and I want to try, and it might be that this is the only thing I ever embroider in my life, but at least I know that I've tried it. So I want to encourage you guys to um, think outside the box and expand your horizons. But if you don't want to, that's okay too. That's okay. No need to get upset. I'm so excited to talk to you about these other crafts and other things that I want to try. And I follow many different types of crafters and artists on Instagram. I follow painters, and I follow people who do ceramics and tattoo artists. And when I was, looking at sock blanks, the name that everybody talks about is Andre Sunitz. She has these incredible sock blanks. Well, she is actually getting into rug hooking, which is something that I had zero idea what that was. But if you go on the Andre Sunitz Instagram account, you can see the rugs that she's hooking right now, and they are amazing and they are beautiful. But I wanted to start something small. So I went on Etsy because there's actually like a big website that sells these rug hooking materials and designs. But I wanted to start something small, and I found the cutest little pattern, and it's by uh, Myra and Jean on Etsy. It's the Box Flamingo Punch Needle Kit. So this is on its way to me, and then I'll be hooking this cute little flamingo. Isn't that sweet? I think that's so adorable. So I'm going to be doing some rug hooking. I'm so excited. That with the embroidery and the knitting are three things that I've never done that I'm excited to try. And like I said, if it turns out that I absolutely hate rug hooking, at least I'll have a cute little flamingo rug and, say I didn't like that. That is my third project on my queue, is my rug hooking project. Now, let's talk okay, let's talk Yarnopolis. I have purchased some things, of which I'm going to show you two that I'm excited about. And again, Faye, you are a horrible influencer because every time you show something, I want to buy it. And so I mean, it's like I have zero self-control. I'm like, oh, look at this cool thing Faye's showing. Let me go buy it. But you know what? I love Haley. This is Haley from her, she's Hayri on Instagram, but she also has a page for her cool hand carved hooks. Do you see that? These, and then she's putting the information, the hook size on there. There it is. This is the 5mm one. So I contacted Haley and I said, I really like the way these looks. I'd like to have some. So she made some for me. And she is Fireweed Fibers on IG, if you want to check it out. She sent me this lovely card with my hooks. So I purchased some of these. I'm going to try. They're very light. You know what I really like about them? They're really, really light. So I am excited to see what I can make with these. And they are also they just look really pretty. And also, I think I might have a fever. I am like, there's no reason for me to be like breaking out in a sweat. But here I am breaking out in a sweat. I also purchased some hand-dyed yarn from Fjord Fibers. And I love it. I love it. I really need to have a project for this I'm going color-wise, I don't have a favorite color. People ask me that all the time. I don't have a favorite color um, because it changes all the time. My daughter is fixated on me telling her what my favorite color is. All the time she'll say, Mommy, what's your favorite color? And I say, all of them. I have no favorite color. But I'm seeing myself drawn the past 3 months towards the reds and the pinks. So when I saw this on her shop, in her shop, I said I want it. And it's exactly the pink that I wanted to have. So I purchased 2 skeins of that. And I also bought this one here, which is this beautiful gray yarn. And I love the way they smell. I love the feel of this yarn. It's not that smooth, silky merino. It's just, it feels good. You know, it's squishy. So I'm really excited about these 2 yarns. Um, don't know that I'll be purchasing that much more yarn this year because, as you know, if you remember, if you've been following me, I will be at Yarndale 2018. I have accommodations booked in Skipton, London, and Edinburgh. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but yes. I will be going with my mother and 3 of my sisters-in-laws. We've already booked accommodations. We will be booking our plane tickets because we kind of all have to be in the same room so that we can figure out where the details of that. But yeah, that is definitely happening, God willing. Um, our accommodations are booked, and I'm so excited to be going over there, hopefully to meet all of you guys. And I am, it's not that I'm not going on a yarn diet where I'm saying I'm not going to buy any more yarn, but I'm definitely going to be extremely conservative with my purchasing between now and when I go to Yarndale because I really feel like I want to be able to purchase yarns that I don't get here. And I also want to be focused on the yarn dyers that I'm excited to see and purchase from over there. So that's my big plan is to be at Yarndale 2018 and hopefully meet some of my favorite podcasters. You know who you are. Um, yeah, so we can have a good time. And I'll be giving you guys updates as to how that trip is going. It's, you know, when you're dealing with, if it was just me going, it's me booking things and me doing my own thing. But when you're dealing with 5 people, um, it can get tricky. But I can tell you, my sister-in-law, Mary, she is on it. She has been fantastic. The places that she has booked for us are, like, I'm looking at the pictures going, I can't believe I get to stay in this place. And so I so excited to be going with them. We all get along, but you never know. You never know how it is. I'll tell you a quick story. My mom had 2 lovely little friends that she played tennis with for a long time. They traveled together, and one of them went mental, and it's like, it was crazy. Like, the stories that she was telling me, I was like, what? This can't be this nice, sweet person that we've always known. So traveling can really bring out things in people. But I feel like my sisters and I, and my mom for sure, she's a seasoned traveler. We're going to have a good time. We have specific things that we're going to be looking at, that we want to see, that we want to experience, and we're all on board. So it should be a great time. Something really exciting that happened these past couple of weeks is, and it actually, I think we were talking about this in December. Claire from Bob Wilson 123 contacted me, which I was blown away. She had seen some of my poncho variations that I had done based on her poncho tutorial that she had on YouTube. And she contacted me to say that she wanted to do a tutorial based on my modifications of her pattern. And I thought, I was blown away. I thought that was so fantastic. And I said, absolutely. So she released the Crochet Luna poncho, I believe a couple weeks ago. And it's based on this poncho. I did several of these actually, but this was one of them. where I made the cowl part of the poncho a little bit snugger, more snug because that's how I like it, and a little bit longer. And then I just added a little front post, back post trim to the end of the poncho. And so she made a tutorial based on this, and it's called the Crochet Luna Poncho. And I'm so proud and I'm so excited that I was part of that collaboration because Claire, I mean, she does such wonderful work. I know so many people who have learned to crochet based on Claire's tutorials. She's such a wonderful resource, and let me tell you, the nicest person. She and I chatted back a little bit, and she's funny, and just made the whole experience so enjoyable. So I would hope that you go and check it out. And if you want a quick make, these are not hard to make, and they don't take a long time. I made most of mine with Red Heart Super Saver, but you can make it with any worsted weight yarn. So I highly encourage you as well to check that out because that's like a little part of me out there, like in a big way, you know? And so it was exciting to work with Claire. I also wanted to remind you about the mini swapless swap that is taking place on the Crochet Luna Ravelry page. So if you want to be part of it, there are 30 spots that were opened, and it's being run by Lisa of Happy Scrappy Life. You go on the page and you sign up. The deadline to pay is January 15th. So you get your payment in, and then she will send out by February or on February 15th, she will send out the swap, the minis, to everyone. And the dyer that is using is a dyer called What the Flock. So if you want more details on the mini swapless swap, which I think is great because I've been collecting minis and I've been receiving minis and I love them. I can't wait to find a project that incorporates all those minis. And so when I approached Lisa, actually. She has a podcast, Happy Scrappy Life, and I said, would you be interested in hosting one on my podcast? And she's been nothing but lovely about it. So I will also be purchasing a spot for a winner that I will draw, and I don't know the details. I don't know the details of when I'll do the drawing, but I will be purchasing a whole swap for some lucky person that is a subscriber to the Crochet Luna podcast. I may use it as a prize for something, but like I said, I love the idea that you get to sample one dyer's color palette. And if you go to the What the Flock Etsy shop, you'll get a taste for the color palette that he uses. And it's bright. It's bright. It's beautiful. It's fun. So check it out. Don't forget the deadline to pay is January 15th. I also received some gifts. Some I received a while ago, but I just wasn't able to share them with you until now. One of them comes from Quaylin from the Crochet Podcast. Quaylin has become a dear crochet friend, and you know, a lot of us, a lot of times, will send each other yarn, which is fantastic. But he actually made me something, and he made me this beautiful hat that I've worn. And look, it's reversible, which is fantastic. I love it. So he made me this hat, and this is made on a loom. That's why the stitches, I was asking him if this was knitted, but if you look at the stitching, it doesn't look crocheted, but he actually made this on a loom. Love the color. And see, again, with these colors that are, you know, in the pinks and in the reds, and really, really digging these colors. He sent me as well a beautiful Twisted Owl skein of yarn, which is really soft and beautiful. This looks like it's chunky. Yeah, it's a chunky merino nylon. And again, Twisted Owl. Sent me some fabric, which I love. And now I have some sugar skulls in red. So I'll be making a bag out of that. And oh, he sent me this beautiful. I haven't even opened the soap because I wanted to show you guys. He made me send me some soap. I love soap. I really, really love handcrafted soap. And he also sent me some books because he's really big into reading. So he sent me some Steinbeck, The Pearl, The Importance of Being Earnest, and Picture of Dorian Gray. Now, you guys know that I made a shawl based on this book. I really enjoyed the book. It was different from what I'm used to reading, but I read it. Well, I lie. I didn't read it. I heard it on my audio through audible.com. So I got the story on audio.com for this book, and some little post-it notes. And then the project bag is great. I love it. And he's got his little quo. I don't know if you can see it. He's got his little quo logo on there. And this is what I got from Quaylen. So Quaylen, thank you so much. You know I love you and fully supportive of everything that you're doing. The designing, the crocheting, everything. Keep it up. You're doing wonderful work. We need you. We need you in this community. Then I also received the most unexpected and just lovely, lovely package from Charlie of the Love Charlie podcast. I saw the interview that Faye did with River City Knits. Loved it. I was so intrigued because I suffer a little bit from claustrophobia. There's zero chance I would live on a boat. I couldn't do it. I think, and they even have like a little baby that lives with them. So it's like they live on this boat and this is where they dye yarn. And it blows my mind because when I did Friday is Dye Day, I took over the whole kitchen. Like the whole kitchen was like a ginormous lab. So kudos to them. But she sent me this, you guys. River City Knits. It's a mini set. Ooh, you know what? I think, hold on one second. Yeah. It's these minis. Look how pretty these are. I love it. So thank you so much, Charlie. River City Knits. If you have a chance, check out the interview that Faye did. It's fantastic. She also sent me from easyknitsco.uk. Again, this gorgeous pink orange. I am loving these colors, and it's another mini to add to the collection. This is the card and the beautiful yarn. So love these colors, Charlie. Really, I'm so happy that you sent me this because this is where I'm at right now, right here. These colors is where I'm living. And she also sent me some fabric, cute little fabric. These will probably be for like next Christmas. I'll be doing those up. And some stitch markers. I already showed you one. This cute little bear will probably go on my backpack that I take to Yarndale. And then, oh, this was interesting too. I had forgotten about this. These Reflections of Nature Oracle cards. So we'll be looking to see how I can use these and see how they inspire me. So I love it. I love, like I said, I'm so much more open to receiving now with the podcast than ever before, and I love that people are thinking about me and sending me things, not because of the things, but because they're thinking about me, and they get me. You guys, everything that is being sent to me are things that I appreciate, that I love, and that I'll be using. I also received a lovely little Christmas package from Michelle, who has a podcast. Mickey Midge is her podcast. Check her out. She's crocheting some lovely things. And she also sent me a mini from Urch Indian. I don't know. I've probably completely butchered that name. And it's got sparkle in it. Look how pretty that is. And then her little son, you guys. Her little son. If you didn't see my Instagram stories, her little son made me a Christmas card. This is Logan. And I think Logan is 4. Anyway, Logan got a kick of me, Adamy's talking to him on my Instagram video. So Logan, again, keep up the good work, bud. You're doing some beautiful work. So I got that card. and she sent me some lovely tea, and just it's just wonderful to like I said, it's not I'm just so appreciative of it all, and I just want to say a big thank you to anyone who has sent me things, and thank you to Michelle, and thank you to Charlie, and thank you to Quaylin for these beautiful packages that you sent me. Um, it means a lot to me, and I'm learning how to be a good receiver. Is it because you know what? I not always have been a good receiver, but I've always appreciated when people have gifted me things. I want to end the podcast with some pattern palooza. And this pattern palooza is very much focused on my Yarndale trip because my goal is to have some crocheted garments that I can wear at Yarndale. Now, I'm not sure what the weather is, but I remember seeing a lot of people say that it was hot when you were inside of the facility. So I tend to wear a lot of leggings. I don't know if that's going to be warm enough. Maybe, and I don't want to pack a lot. Like, when I travel, I'm not a big, like, I don't like to travel heavy. I like to travel light, and I'm sure that's the way to go um, on this trip. But I do want to take some crochet garments. So I went and I picked out some garments that I thought I could crochet and that would be useful. The first one is called, this is called a circus sweater, and it's not even a sweater, it's a top. This is a free pattern by Genuine Mud Pie. It's on her blog. All the links will be on my show notes, and I really like the top of it, the little zigzag part of it right there. I think that's really pretty. I also think that I need a sweater of some kind, and I found this Curvy Girl crochet tunic from Lion Brand. This is a free pattern, and I liked everything about it. I like the cow neck, even though it's loose. I like the way that looked, and I like the length of it. So I'll be working on that. Maybe, I don't know. You know, like I have a lot of patterns, so we'll see. We'll see what gets made. But definitely, I will be wearing crochet at Yarndale because it just seems wrong not to. There's also the Sabrina tunic, which is from Lion Brand. All these patterns are free and they are from the Lion Brand website, but I've linked all of them so that you can get your hands on it. And are you seeing a little theme here? The Tivoli tunic. It's really just because I feel more comfortable covering my caboose. Like I said, I like to wear a lot of leggings, so I think that covering the caboose is always a good thing sometimes when you're wearing the leggings. But yeah, I like that pattern. Now this pattern I liked, but I don't like the fringy on the sleeves. This is called the Venice Beach top. I thought that was really pretty, but I don't like the fringy. I might not do the fringe if I do this top. I thought that was really nice. And then this other one is called the Easy Sparkling Top. Again, a free pattern by Lion Brand. And I like it. I really, really like it. There's the name of it right there. So yeah, I sort of want to focus the pattern palooza towards the things that I think I can crochet up and wear at Yarndale. And so I think for sure a couple tunics and maybe one of the sweater tops will do well. And then definitely want to take a pair of gloves, but I might just use Rosina's pattern for the fingerless mittens to make up another pair of those to take. And then I definitely want to take a hat. And so if you guys have any recommendations for clothing that will be appropriate for Yarndale at that time of the year, let me know, because I have no clue, zero clue, no clue as to what would work or not. Like I said, I don't want to pack heavy because I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to get the yarn back to the States, whether I'm going to bring it myself or ship whatever I buy back. I don't know what's going to be easier. But yeah, it's exciting. It's an exciting time of the year. I hope that you guys have a great outlook for 2018. I know we're only 2 weeks into it, but I think small changes can go a long way, and um, I'm looking to make small changes in my life. Like I say, my word is organized. I'm looking to get more organized because I think that will help me be more productive. Looking forward, my and actually this year, what's really funny, I have to say, I have the most wonderful husband. This year is our 10-year anniversary. So we've always talked about doing something big for our 10-year anniversary. And when I said to him last year, "Oh, I'm going to go to Yarndale, um, you know, to this fiber festival," he never said no. He never said anything but, "All right, do it." But then, this should have been our big year to do something big. It's our 10-year anniversary. And he has been nothing but wonderful and supportive and planning things for me and saying, "Okay, we're going to earmark X amount of funds for you to be able to go." Or he says, "Yeah, let's do something for a 10-year anniversary, but it doesn't have to be anything crazy or big." So, like I said, I'm very lucky to be married to someone who understands how important this aspect of life is for me, and that he's supportive in every way. And so maybe I'll have to crochet him a hat or something. I don't know. I've never crocheted him anything. But yeah, so I just want to say I am Crochet Luna on Instagram, on Ravelry, on Facebook. My blog is Crochet Luna. My blog usually just has the show notes on it. I am trying to figure out a way how to make that a bit more of a tool for myself, not just a place to go put the show notes, but to engage with the blog a little bit more. But we shall see. Like I said, I wish you guys a wonderful 2018. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. Crochet on. Let's have an awesome 2018. Take care. Big hug. Bye.